Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Week 2 game of ETF2L Season 31, sponsored by Copenhagen Games and SVIFT. Today we're going to be looking at Se7en versus SVIFT. Joined today with your boy Ombrack here on the color commentary. How's it going, dude?
It's going pretty well. Just went out of scrims just to be there with you tonight, eepily. So you should feel, I don't know, pick a word, feel that.
Honored.
Exactly.
I feel exceptionally pleased to have you here casting alongside me, especially having just received all this, serious, in-depth behind-the-scenes info of the inner workings of Se7en and all that kind of stuff. We do have production here in the form of Morris, not Beta, as the tweet says, because Beta had to do the other game because different people couldn't make it. Weird things, but we do have Morris here. You can't hear him, but he's going to be whispering in our ear all game, telling us all kinds of horrendous things. But on to the game. I think we've already got about 11 people on the server, so we're getting started pretty quickly. I think we got to run through what's going on SVIFT, because this is not the SVIFT we were seeing last season.
It is not indeed. I'll just go over the roster really swiftly. So on demo is Simure, a new addition to the lineup. The soldiers are Polygon on the poker role and Rising on the roaming role. The scouts are Ixi and Alba, and the medic is Martin. So yeah, I don't think anybody played with SVIFT last season. The only one who wore the SVIFT tag was Polygon 3 seasons ago. So you can, it's a brand new SVIFT. And they did quite well. They only played one game so far. It was against Se7en, and I think many people expect them to lose 6-0, but they managed to get a map against Ams and his teammates. I think that's one of these teams, who can step up when they don't really when we don't really expect them, and that's why I really like them as the underdogs, and I think they are the underdogs tonight.
Yeah, no, I think you've kind of got to be going against a team like Se7en. Like you said, individually, you've got some real kind of standout star players here. Obviously, Rising, he's won Prem. I think he won Prem with Suave way back in the day, season 2021, that kind of thing. We obviously have we have Alba, who is he is my honorary offclasser of I-63 for hitting some absolutely nuts headshots. He's a big boy in that regards, and I said, between a lot of those players, you've got age, you've got like real intelligence, like a real deep understanding of the game from players like Smear. You have up and coming like DM from players like Polygon. You have Martin, still really, like, people forget he's not really been playing at that top level on Medic for that long. Obviously, most well known for his time in Low Panda, but he's like an exceptionally talented mechanical medic, and he does seem to just be able to slot into like any team. So as much as you got to be looking at Se7en thinking they are the kind of favorites going into this, there's no reason why SVIFT can be discounted entirely, especially considering this is Granary and Viaduct. And weird things happen on Viaduct. We've seen Se7en get pounded on Viaduct before.
We have, indeed, just, you mentioned we're already 11 on server, so we'll just go over Se7en roster quickly so we don't get caught off guard. Because there's actually one little change from what we could expect from them usually. So the medic is Raymond. It's a lot of old name, all comeback players back in that game that season. So medic is Raymond, Poke is captain, Roma is Starkey, the scouts are Talash and Tiger, and on Demoman this is Arcadis. This is once more Domo, who was subbing last week as well, I presume, and who's just playing demo while Cadis is away, keeping an eye on the children so they don't get too messy. So yeah, this is the Domon demo, and I feel like you said you can't really know what's gonna happen on product, but I think if there's a map that could go into SVIFT's hand, I would bank on Granary actually.
Yeah, you think so? Obviously, from a DM point of view, both teams are pretty good. We've obviously seen Domo various times on Viaduct. Like, I feel like that's the biggest difference between kind of the older Se7en and Se7en now with Domo. The fact that Cadis was always a smart player. He would always like lead his team, but Domo can play way more DMy, and we've seen Domo single-handedly take over games on Viaduct. But what do you think could possibly lend SVIFT the edge on Granary? That's quite an interesting one. I feel like it's a kind of map which a lot of the Se7en players feel quite confident on.
Granary is the map that SVIFT won last week. I think they capped half a second before the end of the timer. Rising got the winning cap just really in a I think when the timer ran out, I think that was the end of the match and we were going to a golden cap, and then realized that Rising actually capped the point and gave the win to Swift. Though, so that was really, really close. But yeah, I feel like Granary could be one of Swift's best map. Well, they won it, so let's assume this is one of their good maps at least. And I don't think this is the case for Se7en. With Domo playing, I feel like when they have Cadis, the pace of this map is slow enough so Cadis can, analyze what's happening and take the best end of the game against their opponents. And when Domo is there, I feel like you said it's more of a DM player more than Cadis, and I feel like it's going to be really helpful on product. But for Granary, I really believe Swift can play on the mistakes of Se7en.
Well, we're going to see exactly what happens here as we go into this first map. This is Post-Granary. This is ETF2L Season 31, sponsored by Copenhagen Games and SVIFT. Swift versus Se7en. Going to be going into this first mid. We do have Swift on the red side, Se7en on the blues. Smear and Domo arriving about the same kind of time. A little bit more damage on Smear though, so he can't play quite as aggressive. Domo conserving his health and playing with the rest of his team. It's going to be all on these big, important soldier bombs. 7 soldiers going super, super deep, taking a lot of position. Stark actually going on the light, raining so much damage, taking so much control towards point. And actually taking down Swift's medic here, so it's going to be all on Se7en playing around their medic, but Raymond's so far away. It's only Thalash really who's in any danger, but not once they wipe them like that.
Yeah, that was a really clean middle here for Se7en. You mentioned Starkey bombing in, and it actually just acted as a distraction, so Captain could go in unscattered and just 2 rocket on Martin, so he got the frag really easily on the medic. And then going from this, no heals for Swift. This was a lost fight before it even begins. So yeah, now it's a full Uber ad for Raymond, and I see Alba on sniper, so maybe he'll just prove how good he is as a sniper. You already sell him really good, so I'm expecting great things from the Swedish sniper.
You would hope so. He is playing, kind of got a bit of a diagonal line towards this attacker side left, but no, Uber's going to get popped straight in here. Going to be focusing down the sentry here. Domo does get that first pick, and actually a lot of time being played by Thalash, and it's only Smear right at the end who manages to take him down, but with so much time being played, Se7en just forced him all the way towards the point. And they just win that through cap time alone.
Yeah, that's one thing Se7en is really good at. Is playing the cap time really early, so the main focus of the enemy teams will be to defend that cap time so they don't lose the point in the round. But yeah, they lure everyone on the point, and then Domo and the solos can just spam it and take an easy round. So yeah, that's a classic, that's a textbook Se7en play here.
Exactly, once you force a certain amount of time, they have no choice but to try and block it, but that splash damage is your friend. So second mid here, we're going to see the same kind of thing from the 7 soldiers. Obviously that distraction came huge into it, but this time not quite so much. It does seem like a good opportunity for Swift to try and push forward, but they're so split. Martin's actually completely caught towards point by himself, catching a pipe. I mean, this kind of mid's already in tatter for Swift. They managed to get a couple frags, but really it's just nothing they could do. Look, Smear's so far away from the rest of his team, and thankfully Martin has managed to link up with Alba. They will manage to escape and at least be able to conserve their Uber, but I don't know, they just look so split. They just didn't seem like they had a focus that mid.
Yeah, exactly. At least Martin lived, so that's better. And I feel like this time what was a bit better for Swift is that Polygon jumped in forward, so he kind of drew some of the attention from the 7th player. And this is why Martin didn't die quite, didn't really get focused down, because he was really weak. You mentioned he was completely disconnected. He could have died, but I think that play from Polygon just gave Martin just the exact amount of time he needed to leave. No, the Ubers are even. Yeah, I see Rising open the door for Alba. Alba trying to get a nice snapping line. And with a heavy in play, this is going to be really tough for Se7en to break that hold, and they know this because Starkey is himself on the sniper rifle.
Yeah, so we will see some sniper v sniper fights, you know, a lot of that comes down to who manages to play the buffs correctly, who manages to take some position for their team, but I wouldn't say that Stark has any real advantage over Alba here. If anything, Alba's more famed for sniper than Stark is, but I mean, if you look at the position of these Swift players, it's going to be so difficult for Stark to do really anything. Martin playing this front side of point, I mean, there has to be such a deep angle. That's a real hero play to get anything onto Martin as long as he doesn't massively overextend. And it does look like they're taking some decent position. Tiger's actually hiding really, really close. It feels like he's the one who's going to try and find an opportunity. He tries to take this fight with Smear, but no, gets domed by Albert. Punish.
Exactly, the punish came straight through that bullet in the head, and I'm quite surprised not to see Talash on Sniper. The aggression's coming from Rising, actually got a nice rocket, but not quite enough to break the hole for Se7en. So once again, this is going to be a stalemate. I think Tiger died, and of course he's back on Scout. No more off classes yet. Se7en, they have all the time in the world before trying anything risky. So it's going to be again up to Starkey to see if he can do anything. Tiger's going to open the door for his sniper, and it's going to be a duel, I assume, between Starkey and Alba. But look at Alba, sneaky boy, hiding behind the tires, so he can't get his head in the line, and Starkey can't do anything. Once again, another bullet in the head of the Se7en's player.
Does look like a lot of Swift's plan was to try and take some decent position up top with their soldiers and get a lot of spam, but Raymond's so far away. I feel like maybe the in here for Swift is to try and take some position on point, trying to focus off some of these players. Tiger, no, he just runs all the way in, dodges all of Smear's stickies and takes him down, and now this is getting to such a scrappy fight. 3 players down on the Swift side, only 2 for Se7en, so I think they're just going to try and walk into this right-hand side. Perfect opportunity for a force, but look at this denial to Starkey. He's getting absolutely crushed, but no, they're still towards the point. Ixie has got dropped in all of this, and this Uber has got popped off. Oh my lord, Domo's even going to live here. This is as disastrous as a hold as it could have physically gone for Swift here. I mean, short of losing all their players. Kind of insane that Raymond managed to be in a position where he just felt no need to use a tool.
Yeah, like some Swift were lacking DM, and as I say that, Raymond is leading his team with Uber Alpinios on last. Tiger already playing the pawn, and he almost got it, but he got killed by Polygon. But in the end, there's so much kite time now for Swift. This is going to be really hard for them to secure the pawn and kill the players. But of course, what I'm saying,
and Alba, the power combo. Look at them decimating Thalash and Domo. I mean,
they're both quick though. Raymond can get the 2k.
Raymond, please, if he hits this arrow. He can't stay in forever. He knows these spawners are going to come in. He knows he's overstaying his welcome, and he will get punished here in the end, but not before killing Alba. Oh
yeah,
my god.
A bit too cocky here for Raymond after he got the first cow and then missing the first arrows onto Alba. He should have left, but you know, sometimes to thrill up the kill is just overpowering. You know? Yeah, just you can't fight this urge of playing aggressive. And now Smear is going to die. I want to mention that Granary is not his best map, and I feel like he's getting caught off guard a lot of the time, where like every time I've seen him playing Granary, and we've seen that when Tiger got him on the right hand door. So yeah, I'm expecting Smear to get caught off guard quite a few times, and I think Se7en can play around that if they can get to kill the leader of Swift.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of flank aggression here from Starkey. He will get cleaned up though. Exactly, just as you said, Ombrack, your brain is huge. Smear does in fact get caught out, but he does allow the rest of his team to push forward. They do have just enough of an advantage to push forward here. I mean, it's about 25%. They have to be so quick if they really want to get into mid off this. It does look like they're trying to, taking this right-hand side, getting a lot of damage on Captain as well. So as long as they can stabilize here, that frag on bounce is going to be so important. And not using here is 100% the goal for Martin. If he can stay alive, he can stay with this Uber, but Se7en doesn't want to make it easy for them. They do actually have a bit of a back cap all the way behind. Smear has dealt with that, but we're going to be going for a bit of a scrappy trade towards points. Soldiers flying everywhere, trying to get some kills on the peripheral, but it does look like this will ultimately go the way of Swift in the end. Stark does try to make a hero play, but no, cleaned up.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Tiger wasn't here in that fight. He tried to go for the back cap, and he draws some attention, but in the end, when you don't have scouts to play a Uber trade, this is going to be really bad for you. It's going to get bad if you don't have scouts for the after fight, and Swift, they were aware of that, and they played the high ground really well, even though Polygon died to Creator. I think that was the best play to do. So yeah, Swift is not, they're not down yet. It's maybe 1-0 for Se7en, but I feel like Swift is reacting nicely to the poor beginning of their game, and but yeah, we saw Smear get caught off guard once more just after I mentioned it. I hope it's not going to happen too much, because Se7en, they're going to be able to identify this weakness really early, and if Smear doesn't fix this, he's going to get punished really hard.
Definitely losing a demo in those kind of situations is desperately bad, but as long as he can keep himself playing how he should. It does look like a lot of these players can go toe for toe. Actually, a big bomb in from Captain here. I thought he was going to get that direct, but it's kind of amazing he manages to get so deep. The timing on some of these jumps is just so crucial, but this will be equal Ubers for both teams. Alba has spawned on the sniper, knowing he's still got some plays left in him. 21 minutes left in the game, so lot of things that can happen. No off classes for the 7 side, so this is going to be all on Albert and his all-important first shot. Obviously, that first shot, before they really realise you have a sniper, is the most crucial one. But
yeah.
Albert gets spotted, nothing gets hit as of just yet, so immediately 7's in that. Okay, they have a sniper, we know how we need to play, we know every single kind of sight line on this map. We know exactly what we need to do here.
Yeah, Raymond just has to hide behind the crates in between the 2 yards, and he's gonna be safe from Alba. But he's just picking actually right here, and Alba, if he gets quick enough, he can actually get an opening onto Raymond, and he gets Saga, so that's a okay opening for them if they want to keep doing that. Smear is trying to protect.
Oh, Domo gets headshot.
But he gets a frag, so that's unfortunate. But I feel the problem with Swift, and I say that Domo is getting another frag, helping to get another frag. The problem with Swift is that they kind of rely a bit too much on Alba to break the stalemates, I feel like, and they don't really have much more ideas other than that, so... Oh,
Smear, no! Smear's making the plays right now. Those stickies perfectly positioned to absolutely annihilate Domo. No chance Raymond even had to save him there, so that's going to be 3 frags traded for 1 Uber, so things are looking so good for Swift right now. They can actually just walk all the way through far left and just bully Swift completely out. It's only 2 scouts here. Tiger might even get caught out here. He's actually, yeah, he will. That's definitely not the play you want. This actually opens things up for maybe Swift to start walking into last. Smear's calling for his team, leading forward with Alba. If they can take some of this height, this position is going to be so important. Start going in. Trying to get some good damage, trying to clean up Martin, but he doesn't at all. Alba Polygon combining to take down Domo and Suck. This is so good for them now. With this heavy going down, they just need to play nice and slow, and that's going to be Raymond down. Full white for Swift. That's going to be 1-1.
That's extremely clean push here for Swift, and I feel like the best play from Alba Sniper was dying because he completely baited Se7en into a really bad push out onto middle. And yeah, Se7en just got baited, and Smear just, he got the gifts, you know? He saw a present, he just took it, and then it was just really, it went downhill for Se7en. So yeah, I feel like maybe they got a bit too cocky when they saw the Alba die. Maybe this is the mistake. And yeah, 1-1. And yeah, as we mentioned, Swift, they're still in that game. They're still running.
Yeah, no, they're looking really good from that round. Going into the 3rd mid here. Seems to be mid's not really going the Swift way, but maybe this is the one that's going to make all the difference. Starkey is playing towards Garage, so this left side push for Swift is going to be difficult, but he's not the one aggressing. It's going to be Captain and Tiger surging forward to try and get something done. Only late to Stark come in. Get some decent damage, but it does seem like the Swift players are going to live a lot up until Captain jumps in super deep, so it will be a bit of a 2v3, but Rising's absolutely nowhere near. Tiger now completely on the prowl. This is going to be... Oh my god, I feel like the timing can just about work out here for Martin. If he just keeps running as fast as little legs can take him, Polygon's going to spawn. No. Tiger comes in. Such a crucial flag there as well. No!
He doesn't know!
He doesn't care! Oh, Polygon! Disaster!
Oh, that was unfortunate. And yeah, I feel like again they can't quite figure out the solution. Swift on the middle, they in the 3rd middle in the road that they lost to Se7en. And this time, even though Martin lived, Tiger had a thrill for blood, and he just went in and got 2 frags in there. So it's gonna be again up to Alba to try to get that clutch shot onto Raymond. But now Swift, they're gonna be careful about their point. They don't want to allow too much cap time, and the Uber is used onto Talash. No cap time at all now, but now Talash is figuring this out. He's trying to remove the stickies. The Sphere is well aware of the play. Oh, the butt direct from Captain onto one of the scouts. That was a really good play. And Swift, look at them, just taking a side, trying to take this slow, but the mid grinder is coming for Swift. They can't do anything, maybe. So much cap time, and now it's only Martin, and they can't do anything. And I like the play for Swift, trying to get a side and not to commit too hard, but in the end, Se7en just had to press W and press again that cap time. It's so crucial, and I feel like Se7en, they're doing that so well.
Yeah, I mean, there was a bit of a late flank there from Rising. It looked like he was almost in a perfect position to get something done, but then he got spotted by a 185,000 and just got decimated, so almost like a bit of a 6v5 in the end there, but sometimes you got to make this kind of plays, you got to make something happen. But take us away on this mid, Ombrack. Tell us what you see.
To demo man trying something new, trying to take the catwalk. I think this is Mira is trying to attempt something, but the flank is coming for Se7en, trying to push on the Rising, and now two people missing for Se7en. Maybe this is the time for Swift now to push forward. They're quite indecisive right now. Mira is still on the high ground. He's trying to rain down stickies onto Se7en, and it's quite working actually, taking things really slowly, and it's working really well for them. Starkey's not quite healthy enough to do anything on the flank. Smear died, so maybe now this is the end, but no. I feel like that positioning for Swift and Smear was so good that Se7en wasn't able to break it. And now the flank is coming for Rising. Can he get anything done? Yeah, you actually can. Raymond and Starkey died to the focused fire of Rising and Ixie, and I feel like Smeary maybe have the solution figured out on this middle.
I think I just want to shout out like that little flank. Yeah, Rising didn't get all the frags, but just being able to pincer them like that, the damage he got just allows both Ixie and Albert again to just combine and just decimate what remained of Se7en's players there. That was so important, and it all came down to just not losing those frags early on. It was effectively a 4v3 for ages, and Swift playing it really smart, so they've got their almost full Uber advantage to make up for that now, so as long as they can get through the second nice and safe without having to use his Uber, they should be able to go for their own full Uber last push. But
Dalash. Oh, he has the dart onto
days.
Martin and he gets the frag. I feel like Swift got in so cautiously that it took so much time and just let Se7en setting up a hold onto the second point, and then Dalash with a clutch shot got the frag and completely salvaged the situation for Se7en. And now Albert dies as well, trying to go for the medic, but that was not maybe the proper play. Starkey is pushing on heavy, maybe he's trying to be proper bodyguard for Raymond, but yeah, that play from Dalash just completely saved the situation here for Se7en.
Definitely seemed a different approach to kind of how Se7en would take some of these second points. Obviously, it wasn't the exact same kind of situation, but I think you're definitely right. Swift were very hesitant. They weren't quite sure of the kind of pace they wanted to take, and they got massively punished. We do still have this 450 heavy taking his way all the way through Catwalk. I mean, what do you even do here? How do you possibly get on Raymond at this point? That heavy's just so important. He just decimates anyone who's possibly going to jump him, and Swift's just like, nope, no, I don't. I'm not going to be in some heavy frag with you. Not happening. Not today. No thanks.
Starkey being the true definition of a tank right now, and the Uber is used really deep by Se7en, but they can't get any frags because Swift looked like they read the situation quite well, and now Martin is going to add the ad. And they're quite a question. Looks like they went on blind on that yard, and yeah, not the best play here for Se7en, and Swift they will be able to retaliate quite soon enough.
It did seem a little bit questionable, more kind of aggression than strategic. Say maybe the lack of their main caller kind of showing through, but Swift has moved all the way through Z completely for free so far. A little bit of damage, but it does look like they'll be able to retake the yard and still have their big old Uber advantage. Stark, oh, surely he has to get caught out here. He will by Albert chasing him down, and still about a 30% Uber advantage. Through left side, Swift intends to go, but they can't play slow forever. Captain bombs in deep, tries to force off the Uber, and instead gets Albert and lives. This is starting to look so dodgy here for Swift. They've only really got 3 players together, and this Uber advantage is dwindling so quickly. Se7en has all the height as well. Raymond goes so high, he gets decimated by an arrow. Oh, disaster for Se7en. Is looking so good for Swift here, and they back all the way up, maintaining their full advantage, but no, wait.
Oh no, Martin drops
everyone.
2
What's
players.
happening on Ombrack?
Oh my god, I feel like, okay, so Martin is a really good medic, but I feel like this is his main weakness. He tends to move too much and to drop players, and we just have the proof of that when he dropped Polygon and Smeary. So yeah, he had the really shining player, the Aaron Martin, but then I feel like this is Martin in a nutshell, you know, everything you can do from top to bottom. So that's quite unfortunate. One thing I want to mention though is, you said that Swift is taking things really slowly, and I feel like right now maybe they're taking things a bit too slowly, maybe a bit too cautious, and every time they have an Uber ad, they're just giving Se7en so much respect that they just basically give Se7en a free Uber, even though Raymond died. So once again, we'll see how they want to play this out, but they have the Uber ad, and I really wish they take things a bit quicker, because they know they have the ad, so they really should be more closer than that. Look at them, they're playing so defensive.
Yeah, I mean, it was only about a 30% advantage, but that's one of those situations where surely you either move immediately or you just accept that, okay, we don't think this is enough, and, you know, they are still around down here. Sure, 12 minutes is 12 minutes, that's still a decent amount of time, but at a certain point, you got to kind of decide for yourself, what do we consider enough of an advantage? Maybe that one player advantage will be enough to try and make something happen. Taking down Tiger's never a bad thing. Obviously, he's such a DM powerhouse for Se7en, and he can always be just such an annoying player to deal with. So that's one scout less on the Se7en side. Does Swift try and take this as an opportunity to bully their way in, try and get some kind of force? I mean, there's a lot of high ground. Soldier will jump, try and get deep. He's getting so juggled, but 0 damage on Raymond.
Yeah, the thing is, Tiger is only a scout at the end of the day, and a scout dead when you want to push on a Granary middle, this is okay, it doesn't really matter. Starkey's trying his own attempt at bombing, is really high in the sky, gets one rocket onto Mark, misses the second one, but yeah, I feel like, again, as Tiger is on sniper, I don't think they know.
Oh my lord, this could
Smear.
be so scary. They will know now Smear has found out for his team, so they know this right hand side is going to be a little bit more difficult to push through if they do decide to do that. But yeah, it's just, it feels like it's so difficult for Swift to really do anything. It feels like almost all the 7 attempts are just that little bit better here, and with no off classes spawning for the Swift side, got to make you think, what is their plan? They can't just let Tiger keep kind of, you know, taking shots, because eventually he will hit one.
Ooh, Starkey dying right now is way better than Tiger dying on Sky, because Soldier spamming you down is not there anymore, so they can't try to get on that spam box, but Tiger knows and he's watching this area, so this is going to be tough, and Smear knows, he rotates to ramp, maybe trying to get in, and again I feel like they're taking things so slowly. The Soldier down is such a big deal when you force the Uber, but they don't even force it, they use first, and now the trade is coming, but this is looking really bad for Swift. Polygon died on the flank as well, and they really need to fall back. Maybe they can keep the yard because they're only missing a Soldier, but I feel like, again, look at the respect
They're
getting.
so far back, yeah, I mean, exactly like I said, they're giving 7 so much respect. They're essentially conceding the entirety of the yard here, purely based on fear of what 7's going to do, but 7 don't even seem content to kind of settle with yard. Actually, Captain will get taken down by Rising. Actually look proper dodgy, so that should at least be able to stunt the 7 push a little bit. A bit of a saving grace there for Swift, but there's only so much space you can really concede before you realise you'll be back on your last again.
Yeah, because Swift, they have to realize Tiger is not scout, he's on sniper, so it's effectively 5 players and a half maybe for 7, unless Tiger hits the shots, which he hasn't done so far, so maybe it's time to stop giving them respect, because Starkey died, so it maybe was an opportunity to push on the yard, and Swift, they have to remember, they're losing by a round now, so yeah, this is not much, still 9 minutes, but I feel like it's been 5 minutes, they've only been on the back foot, they haven't done anything constructive on the offense.
I think that's definitely like so important on Ombrack, what you say there, being on the back foot. When you play those games on the back foot, you're constantly trying to make things happen, you're constantly, you know, a round down or a player down or whatever, it's so difficult, but we see Ubers get traded here, slightly better for Martin, but can't really do anything just yet. I mean, this is going to be a real scrappy fight to manage to get anything in. Actually, Stark and Captain on the back lines. Oh, they're combining to just decimate Martin, Polygon, Alba all dying here. And yeah, Smear's going to get caught off on the right-hand side. And it's all on Ixie, all by his lonesome against 6 of the 7 players. I mean, yeah, I think this is damn near impossible here as Rising tries to jump in, get some good damage, but no, they're going to get cleaned up. And
yeah,
3-1 to 7.
I don't know what they're trying to achieve there Uber right now. Like the Uber on the Soldier against the scout and the sniper, the Uber were kind of even, and they just left against the sniper Ubers. Like just jump behind him and kill him when the Uber fades. And I don't know if it's respect or fear or pressure or anything, but there must be something going through their heads right now, because this is not the mistakes they usually do.
Definitely something they're going to have to change really quickly, because 7 minutes 30. This time Smear playing way more aggressive on point. Good damage on the Domo as well, so the early part of the mid-fight is certainly going their way. Seems like Swift are much more bunched up towards point, but once again these 7 soldiers rain down some damage, but Raymond's gone down earlier, so all around Martin there is so much damage being dealt to the Swift players. Martin's still managing to stay alive. What an air shot of Rising on the Thalash here. This is looking so good. They will almost sacrifice Rising's life there, but Martin is living. It's not impossible for them to walk back in, but again, it does seem like they're going to play a little bit slow. They're going to wait for these spawns.
And okay, maybe, well, it's really easier to say when you're not playing and just watching the game, but I feel like Martin left a bit early there. Raymond died, so they had the heals and they could have won that fight. They need to take risks now because they're 2 rounds down, and if they want to win this fight, I'm not even trying, like if they want to tie this, not even talking about winning, they need to take risks like now. So maybe that's a fight they should have taken. In the end, Martin lived. This is what matters most, and now Smear is trying to get his team to push forward. And 7 is the one right now giving space.
Yeah, again, another bit of a disaster from Swift there. They were so focused on the start that Captain managed to get in, force off this Martin Uber, and still live behind. So, as of right now, 7 has a massive Uber advantage, and they have a player behind to kind of pincer any opportunity for Swift to move back. So, you said this time is starting to dwindle. If they want to get the 3 rounds they require to win this in regulation, it's going to be so difficult here. This is going to require some kind of Raymond drop, but Rising a little bit too early, gets some decent damage, but no, he's going to go down alongside Smear. Raymond's not looking to have to use his Uber whatsoever, and another collapse from Swift.
Yeah. I don't know. This is when things start to get a bit bad because you know you're losing. Oh, Rising in forward, trying to get a body shot. He gets Domo, not Raymond. That's unfortunate for Rising, but yeah, now being behind with the timer going slowly down, this is gonna be really bad for Swift because the more risk you take, the more prone to mistakes you are. And it looks like they're trying to do things a bit more dodgier than usual.
They do manage to take down Stark at least. Something it's gonna make this hold potentially doable, but said they can't keep on holding forever. It's gonna be equal Ubers, so maybe Smear's just feeling like a bit of a trade here. It does look like he's going really far out, but he's actually getting locked down and he gets decimated in the corner. At least he will trade for Domo in the end. Not even quite sure how that happened. Both demos just a little bit overextending, so Ubers are traded. Scout versus a soldier. A lot of position taken by Se7en. Oh lord, Polygon is going to go down as well, and Rising as well, both from captain, so yeah, Se7en's just walking straight in. Raymond's being charioted by both of the scouts. Is going to be
Ixie
actually decimating, but no, Stark's going to hit all these important rockets, and oh, it's a 4th round. I thought that was going to look so good for Swift there.
Well, yeah, you know things starting to go south when one soldier is able to trade with your 2 rocket men. And this is what Captain did on the flank, so now it's 4-1, and I don't think there's even enough time for Swift to take it back. So now it's gonna be about to, you know, to stay composed and try not to blow this away, because there's another map and you don't want to give up yet because there's a lot of things to be done before the end.
It's true, I mean, 4 minutes 20, it is still possible. We've seen some TCM rounds, definitely. This is the way to do it. Big aggression. Raymond, Captain, gets destroyed instantly. Thalash as well, and this is... I don't know, maybe it isn't impossible at this point. Martin just needs to stay focused, stay with his team, and that's a full wipe. I mean, it makes you wonder, Swift, why couldn't you just done that maybe 10 minutes earlier? That was exactly what you needed to get into this mid. If only we'd seen that just a couple rounds ago.
Again, this is the really comfortable place where you're just looking at things and just saying, why didn't do that earlier? But yeah, looks like maybe there's some beginning of an answer here for Swift. That aggression was really, really nice, and we saw just Ixie not trying to deny soldiers whatsoever, just went deep with Rising, and this was the saving grace here for Swift. The gun is getting built for Se7en. They really don't... This is going to be hard for them to lose, but they don't want to give any ground. And look at them. Look at Swift. They have such a big gap, but they're taking things so slowly once more.
Yeah, there will be a sniper, so that does equal an early use here. Smear actually jumped away, thought the gun was going to be, but no. A little bit of a mistake there. Sticky's still on point. They're not playing the time the same way the Se7en is, but now eventually they are. Se7en will have to run on to point, but there's so many frags going so many different ways, but it's just so much time. It's going to be actually Martin versus Thalash. He has no choice, really. This is 3 minutes, but Martin's going to try and conserve his life, but I feel like that's kind of possibly the play that ends the game here, especially if he dies in lobby as well. Sorry, Yard.
Poor focus fire here for Swift, because Starkey was just sitting on the pipe all by himself without any beam on him, and nobody just got him down. He was extremely weak, but a poor focus fire once more for Swift, and they didn't quite get him. But no, there's maybe still some time. Thalash dead. No cap time for Se7en, but Starkey killing Smear, maybe the nail in the coffin here with that bomb, and yeah, that should be it. But I feel like, yeah, Se7en was the better team. It feels like Swift, they made mistakes that they can only blame themselves for.
Yeah, I think it's definitely not one of those games where you're like, well, you know, Se7en just played Se7en and Swift didn't really stand a chance. There was some really solid play from Swift. It seemed like exactly what you said, a couple crucial little mistakes, and there was definitely room for them to make some plays here. Stark's going to do some post-game little plays, trying to see if he can get something done, but I think Alba's going to play. He's going to play some better logs here, yeah. We're going to at least get ourselves a consolation round here on the side of Swift. I have total faith in them to at least prove a point here, you know? It's all about people joke, but that mental game, you know, showing that you're still in it, you're still focused, you still believe you're the better team, it's going to come in Nevada.
Yeah, and they need to keep their spirits up before the second map, because if this stays here and with the other mistakes, it's just going to be so demotivated going into that second map. So I feel like even if it's over, what it's doing Swift right now is really good to, you know, keep in the game, stay focused, stay composed, and they are perfectly right to do it even though the map is over.
Yeah, exactly. A couple little things as well. You can just, you know, focus on how do we get a successful trade. Still, just, you know, make sure your aim is warmed up. All those little things can still come into it. But 1 minute 7 seconds left on the clock. I think it's maybe time we have a little bit of a chat about what we're expecting for Viaduct. I mean, from a DM point of view, for some of these fights, we've seen some really equal stuff, more equal than perhaps people would suggest based on how dominating Se7en has been as a team. But we've also seen a lot of the way Se7en plays. It's their strategic, it's their game plan. It isn't that they're just pure DM donkeys who can just wreck everyone. And I think, you know, it doesn't look like SVIFT's going to be going into Viaduct on a particular DM disadvantage. It doesn't look like really they'll have an off-classing disadvantage either, so I don't know, I feel like Viaduct might still be the map to watch.
Well, yeah, I really want Swift to have a more aggressive mindset, because I feel, well, not aggressive, but quicker in the execution. You know, because I feel like there's a lot of time where they could have taken more ground and they haven't, because respect or misread of the situation. And of course, Product is such a different map that it may not be possible to do, because you have to tone down your aggression sometimes not to get wiped. So it's gonna be about, you know, finding that balance between playing back and trying to cover more ground. And I feel like this is what hurts Swift the most on this map. And I don't know, maybe they have realized it and going into that map with set plays as well, because you mentioned earlier Alba is a really good sniper, so maybe they have things up their sleeves around their off classes. But I think there's definitely hope for Swift for a better showing on the second map.
Yeah, obviously that is last couple of seconds just playing out there, effectively kind of you know, the last dying seconds of a done game. That will be 4-1 on Granary for Se7en. So, like we said, you know, things ultimately going the way of Se7en, but it wasn't an all or nothing kind of thing. It did seem like there's definitely some good things to take away. I think we do actually have some logs already up on the screen. Assuming you will have the logs up as well, I will send them over to you there, Ombrack. So, taking a little look at, obviously, we didn't mention that much, but I'm sure people have heard about 1,000 times. Granary is the map for soldiers. We saw the mids, you know, between Starkey and Captain, between the distraction bombs and the bombs for damage. You know, it only makes sense that Captain is going to be sitting there top damaging in the game. 22 for 14 and a 15 for 9 Domo. So definitely kind of, it makes sense that these stats are going to look a little bit better, because I feel like a lot of that's mostly from the mids. Polygon, obviously, 10 for 23. Much worse statistically than Captain, but like, I feel like it comes down to just a couple of those engagements, a couple of those plays where they were just a little bit too far back, and being that soldier, it's your job to be forward. So if your team's going to then back up and play almost too passive, you're the one that's going to get punished for it, even if it's not necessarily your mistake. It's just a kind of bit of a miscommunication, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. It's more down to mistakes as a team, as a whole, not really individuals. The only player maybe I felt was a bit off was Se7en, like not really measuring up to Domo stat-wise, going negative in his kill-death ratio. So I feel like, and this is really important because he's the one main calling for that team. So you don't really want your main caller to underperform, because then not only is going to hurt your team on a DM basis, but also on the calls. Because when your main caller is dead, he may be less involved in the current situations or stuff like that. So yeah, I've mentioned how this is probably not Se7en's best map, and I feel like this is just a perfect embodiment of that. Apart from that, pretty even starts across the board. So yeah, I feel like the reason why Swift loves can't really be read on the logs, and I think the logs are a fair statement of that situation right now. And maybe going into product, we saw Alba having taking the best of Starkey and Sniper, so maybe this is something we can read into for the second map. I wouldn't give it too much credit either. So
we definitely saw really good things from both Ixie and Alba. So I think this is yeah, definitely a map we're going to look at. I think we are actually going to throw to some music a second as we get some behind the scenes production stuff set up. Just a moment, but we will be back in just a couple minutes if my production gurus are correct. So give us a couple minutes and we'll be back with you for a Viaduct of this week 2 game. Hi, we're back here again, just having a quick little change of our production, guys. Morris is gone. Long live Morris. Jem is here to continue on things for our second map here on Viaduct. I'm still eepily. Ombrack is still Ombrack.
I am.
You know, we're still going to be here chatting about some things just in this pre-game while we wait for the last couple 7 players to join the server. So, as I said, Viaduct, obviously, it's a big map in terms of DM, in terms of like individual play. There's, I feel like TF2 is a kind of game where you have a fairly long time to kill, so individual play is lessened. But on Viaduct, because focus fire and like tiny little failures of decision making, just extending a little bit too much, can just weigh so heavily. I feel like individual play can be more on Viaduct than basically any of the 5CP maps. So I think this is going to be a map we're definitely going to see some real plays happen. Obviously, Tiger is a pure DM beast. We've seen good stuff from Thalash as well, playing that pocket scout role just so fantastically. And Ixie and Albert as well. The way that, obviously, individually, they're very good. But we saw that last game, their focus fire together, like, just, give them the old 1-2. You run in, hit one meat shot after another in the course of about half a second. Like, they're really, really strong playing together as partners. And that kind of focus fire can almost matter more than a lot of other things on Viaduct. If you have all your guys shooting at the same players, you can just absolutely melt people because of how open this map is. And I think that's definitely going to come into it for Swift.
Yeah, you're right about that, and I felt like we've mentioned one of the reasons we lost was the lack of focus fire, especially I'm thinking about last push where they just didn't kill Starkey. It was 40 HPS heavy, so they really want to fix that so they don't get caught off guard by that. And but Product is a map has a history of upsets. Throughout many seasons, we've seen unexpected results on that map. The last game I recall that were unexpected was the Fellowship taking on Se7en, I think it was last season, or the Boss Crew winning against Swift at I-63. So yeah, and I think both were down to different reasons. I feel like the Fellowship won because they were the better team on the map, like as a whole, no individual stepping up. I feel like there was really a team win. Whereas when the Boss Crew beat Swift, I feel like it was a lot down to Alba hitting every shot on sniper. So, there's a lot of reason why you can lose this map even though you're favorites. And I feel like Se7en, they should be careful about that because it's going to be really hard for them if they can't really get the grasp of what's happening.
Yeah, definitely complacency is a true killer, especially on a map like this. But we will be going into Viaduct here. This is Season 31, Week 2 of Premiership ETF2L, sponsored by SVN.tf and Copenhagen Games. So we don't see any snipers just yet. All scouts, soldiers, demo, and medic on the field. So deep bombs from both the Se7en soldiers, so it's going to be Swift's opportunity to try and move forward, but they've actually conceded the point as well as they're staring so much at these soldiers. Pipe in from Domo, still ultimately trading players. It's going to be this re-aggression on the point, which is all important. Alba, already 2 frags to his name. He will eventually get cleaned up, but so many of the Se7en players are so far away. It's going to be Rising's job to clean up these last couple frags of the mid. So good for him. All around Martin now as he surfs up onto the cliff, and he will just about stay alive. And Rising, that's 4 frags at mid. I mean, he's won Prem before, but maybe he can't do it again.
Well, he's won Prem and he's won the middle for his team, so it's really good for him, for his record. He got Raymond and Domo at the end of his life, so that was really good for him. And one thing I want to mention is how Alba disrespected Tiger and just 2-shot him on the middle point. So that's a really good way to start a map, to get on that hype factor, to cash on that. So that's really good for Alba.
100%. I mean, like, Tiger plays with confidence, so showing you're not afraid is so important. We do have almost a little bit of a kind of semi-sack wave here from the 7 players. They will. Polygon showing, he's awake, he sees what's going on, but Se7en did ultimately achieve their goal. They did force off Martin here. They've only lost about 40-50 seconds on the clock. We do see this moving into a bit of a fort-hold position here for the Swift players, so Se7en with their 70% Uber advantage. He's on
the sniper rifle.
He is. You will see Se7en moving out across the left-hand side. A lot of damage being dealt. Raymond will get shot straight up into the sky, but oh my lord!
Oh, Rising, what a play. Again, he killed the Pyro, I think, and then he almost got a drop Raymond because Raymond was ouring someone, so he didn't have the medic out. So if Rising was a bit more accurate, he could have actually dropped the medic. So that was a bit fortunate for Raymond, but in the end, all in all, it's really good outcome for Se7en. They got some ground, they got the middle point, but it's already 1 minute 20 seconds down for Swift, so this is pretty good for them. Martin catching a pipe and Swift stealing the health back for his medic. I feel like there's some beef happening right now for Swift live in PFTV. Evers finally used double sticky bomb for Smeary. gets one sticky onto Raymond, but he can't get quite much more, and now it's going to be up to Ixie and Alba to maybe clean up. Yeah, the cleanup crew, pretty good, getting both Raymond and Talash and
My
Domo.
god, this is carnage. I mean, there were so many 7 players behind, and now they come back in. It's just frags being traded. Absolutely everyone is now a 1v2 for Stark. He sees Polygon, he knows Smear's capping the point, but there's not really anything he can do. Oh, Smear, shout out to Smear's massive brain waiting for his team to spawn before capping the point. Some people make that mistake, but Smear, you know, he's played this game enough. He knows what he's doing, so just from that alone, he's guaranteed heals are going to be about the same, Uber's going to be about the same, and Se7en, they want to get as much position as possible. A lot of damage here from this Captain Bomb. Domo moving forward with the rest of his team, getting so much damage, and what a con to Ixie as well.
Domo just walked across and 3-stick it marching down, so I mean, okay, when you have no hits, it's going to be really hard to win the team fight. And look at Se7en, they're trying already to take a forward hold, so it's going to be hard for Swift to break this, especially with Raymond having the Uber ad. I'm curious to see how they want to approach this. We saw Se7en trying a pyro to remove the rockets, but I feel like Smirius wants to lead his team through the wrong door. Domo gets 3 frags!
He's insane! Oh my god, that was so brutal. Single-handedly holding right-hand side. I mean,
why? Why would you go there? Why would you go there where the demo is holding? It's really hard to go through, so I feel poor decision making here for Smear, I feel. And in the end, they're trying to go inside with the pyro this time with Alba in the pyro, but they kind of force the Uber eventually. Martin is safe and sound in the spawn, so all in all, this is okay, but I feel like they wasted like 30 seconds that they shouldn't have.
Yeah, obviously, it isn't just the frags, it isn't just, you know, the Uber advantages, it's all about the time on this map. Swift did start off really well by getting that 1 minute 20 kind of advantage, but it seems like Se7en's had their own kind of really good hold here as well. So Martin has managed to leave spawn, he has got his big Uber advantage, they do have a pyro in the form of Alba. It does look like they will be able to move forward just a little bit, but they are pretty far away. Okay, they've taken down Stark, surely this is their opportunity to try and move forward. Smear, a little bit dangerous. Martin will use to ensure that his Demo Man's going to live, but bombs are so deep. This is so brave. I mean,
this is so
everything
poor.
is so risky for Swift. It just seems like they're right on the edge of trying to make something happen, but just not quite. Tiger now running in, taking this 1v1 with Polygon, and Smear jumping in really deep, trying to get this one pipe on Raymond.
Oh,
he does hit it, but is this going to be enough? Are they going to hold it? Of course not. No, Martin's now so far away, and it's going to be 30 seconds left for Se7en. Oh, Ombrack, help me. Help me.
I feel like there's a lot of luck going on right now, and I feel like the fact that Swift is behind and the timer makes them a bit too disconnected. Some people want to push forward. I feel like, well, I'm gonna name people. Like Smear wants to go forward, Martin is a bit more cautious, so in the end they're getting a bit too disconnected, the two of them. And knowing how important it is to tank your demo on this map so you can have crowd control, they need to fix this really quickly. So you don't want to get Smear caught off guard for too long. But now Martin has the Uber at eepily, and this is going to be really hard for Se7en to actually take this and win this.
It is. Domo goes down again. Smear going nice and deep. This can be so important. We can manage to take down Raymond here. Alba getting so much damage onto Raymond. No, he'll get cleaned up from this Thalash and Tiger combo. But Polygon comes in, saves the day. He will take him down, but now he's all by himself. They focus so much on Martin. It just seems like there was no one left to do anything else. Polygon eventually gets cleaned up, and oh, I don't know. This round seems like it's going to go down to the wire. You will have some slightly faster spawns on red, but can they get there in the next 16 seconds?
There was a 6-for-1 trade to get a medic, or 6-for-1 and an Uber to get a medic, so I don't, something maybe got out of the rails here. With Swift, they have to push, they have no choice, they can't wait for the Uber. Smear knows about this, trying to get a lot of damage. Nice pipes for Smear, he's doing a lot, but finally gets cleaned up. And this is going, it could go either way. The cap is happening, Raymond's really weak, only Domo and the medic right now. They can maybe chase, they decide not to. And they have slight Uber ad, but Se7en, they can't wait. This is their time to push in. Domo's jumping in.
This is literally so desperate for Se7en. They're trying to get in, but this pure combo of Ixie, Alba, and Polygon absolutely destroys any chance Se7en had of free pushing. I mean, it goes down to 0 seconds for each team, but what a round for Swift to win, and what a way to start this match.
Yeah, they were a bit shaky in the middle of that run, but they went back really well in this, and they had a really strong start as well, so maybe the beginning of the run will be once more really important for Swift if they can take this middle once more.
We do see deep bombs here again from Starkey, going to be at least distracting Rising. He's actually going to be sinking off a rocket, but all of the Swift players have turned around. Can you afford to do this? Domo gets a lot of space walking forward, but the damage hasn't really come out yet. It's now Se7en who have had to back up, and really this is opportunity for Swift to start moving towards point. Ixie and Alba, the powerhouse couple, playing so close to their medic. It doesn't seem like there's much of an opportunity for Se7en to get any frags other than on the peripheral of the map. Still not all over. 2 frags being traded for 2. Albert and Smear still able to move forward, but they've taken so much damage. This does look like right at the end, Martin will just about manage to live on 80%. He's actually surfing all the way into spawn. This is going to be so close. Tiger has to get the frag, but no!
Ixie saving grace.
So clutch. That's so important here. That's going to save Swift almost 30-40 seconds in this round, which, as we saw from last round, is just so important.
And with the scout down, maybe this is the opening. Swift needs to go back into that middle because Trollers the only one scout to deny them, so maybe they should try something. And they know about this, they're trying to make their way through the main area, but once again I feel like they're taking things a bit too slowly. Smear is finally going up to that point, but now Tiger's going to be there in the neck of time. Ubers are being traded. It's kind of even right now. Domo is trying to go deep while Polygon is in the back line, but he's been spotted by Kalash, and this is going to be really hard for them. Yeah, he's getting cleaned out. And now Swift they will have to press S and try to go back in safety because this is going to be 5v6, and the number advantage of this map is so important compared to the other maps.
It really is. I mean, Stark is actually behind as well, so any escape is immediately difficult. Stark, oh my god, winning this 1v1 as well. This is pure carnage, and I think I missed an air shot.
Oh, I don't know if it's Domo captain, but Smear tried to jump in deep to get Raymond, and he got completely nullified in there by a projectile. I don't know who it was, but props to that guy. And it's gonna be maybe a forward hold for Se7en now, and with no cap time at all for Swift, this is already looking a bit bad for them.
No, this is actually a little bit Uber advantage, still about 20%. They have managed to bust all the way through this right-hand side, but again, I just don't feel like they're going to be fast enough here. They're only now getting towards point. Raymond 95% on his Uber, so best case scenario. What a drop from Martin, that's disastrous. Oh my lord, at least Raymond does have to force off the Uber, but that time's just ticking away for Se7en.
That's going bad, to say the least, for Swift now. I mean, Martin wasn't looking at the people shooting at him, so he didn't realize that stickies were on his feet, and this is why he dropped. And Domo is actually on a row, he's unstoppable right now. I feel like this is really the star play for Se7en right now, and you know, sometimes just get a sub to carry your team.
Well, it does make sense, definitely incredible player. We do have Swift trying to get something done through main, trying to get some kind of big sack play or whatever, but it's gonna go disastrously wrong as they wipe. I mean, it's 38 seconds to go. I feel like...
Are they gonna spawn camp?
Oh,
yes, they
I
are.
think this is the spawn camp. This is Se7en, the full BM. We don't care. We're not letting you leave spawn for as long as we physically can. I think eventually they will back up because they know it's all about the time.
Yeah,
losing frags here is bad. Losing Domo is even worse than most, but
yeah.
And I mean, like, Raymond's got his Uber though.
Look at Alva, he's pushing out Power. I think he was trying to break the hole, but now it's a bit of a liability for his team because it means no scout for them to cap. Uber is used by Raymond, and yeah, everybody's getting caught out of position. Martin, the one first scout.
Shot from Polygon. Okay, at least he manages to take down Dalash, and actually, it does look like maybe Swift could just about take this, but I mean, they will have to stand on the point eventually, right? It does seem like, you know, playing slow and steady, they want to maintain their spawns. I understand that completely, but...
Yeah, they need cap. I mean, oh no. Are they getting too greedy? Because they did decide not to cap, and now they maybe not be able to cap at all. So maybe poor calculation, poor math here for Swift, because they're getting completely molested. And I don't know, they decide not to cap, and in the end, well, I guess we decide not to take the round.
I mean, obviously, it makes sense for as long as the other team has the point, you get faster spawners, but it's also like, well, it's kind of a 4v4, and it's a bit of a judgment call to make, but clearly...
Context is important, eepily.
Yeah, well, I think they played just a little bit too close to that line, so it will be 1-1 now. Swift getting a little bit of a taste of their own medicine here. Deep bombs here. Oh, what a rocket from Polygon taking down Raymond here. So, once again, good start to the mid four. Swift, it's going to be all about playing around Martin. There's one player behind Starkey getting one rocket, two rockets. Martin's so weak here. Tiger's going to clean up that frag, and now it's going to be effectively all just Smear and Polygon, which Doesn't look like they can really do anything much at all. Yeah, combined power of Tiger and Thalash finishing up those last little bits, and like this first part of the mid can go well, but I don't know. These later parts just never seem to quite click for Swift.
Yeah, I feel they commit so much bodies just to kill Raymond that in the end, I mean, 3 players were caught a bit out of position and they had to give this ground. And I don't really
I think we can be doing a radio cast for just a little bit here. So, fair warning, we're going to give you as much information as possible. We do have a decent little push here from the side of Swift up until they get completely crushed by 3 of the 7 players here. So, again, it was Albert and Martin now running back to spawn. They will live. They will be managing to keep building their Uber. So, as much as they do have a tiny disadvantage, by the time their spawners are up and by the time they're able to go, it should be fairly equal. About 2 minutes 10 on the clock remaining for 7. So, this seems like a bit of an opportunity.
Alba trying to push on Pyro again, while Se7en is on the forward hold. The bomb is coming from Polygon. He gets 1 rock and Raymond, maybe 2. No, he gets cleaned up by Thalash in the neck of time. That was really close there, and Alba can't do quite much here. But I feel like they should maybe commit more than just Polygon when they push with the Pyro. Maybe 2 soldiers would be slightly better and increase their chances of thwarting the Uber. Now it's even. Stray is trying to make his way through the main, but look at Se7en. They don't agree. They don't give ground at all, and Martin drops again to a nice rocket from Captain, and now it's only Raymond, Domo, and Starkey against 4 players for Swift, but they have the heals, they have the Uber, and this drop was unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, it's so crucial when you're in those equal Uber situations. We do have another drop from Raymond! What a pump from Polygon! This is... Oh, I don't know, combined with the stickies from Smear, that was so good, and getting another frag, so... I mean, just when you think Swift, maybe this is going to be another round with 0 cap time, looks like they are back into it. This is about almost a 50% advantage for them now, and they do still have Albert on Pyro, who, you know... Pyro is not what it used to be. The detonator alone, the detonator and Scorcher, is so important for denying different players, and it's so far denying this Thalash sniper.
Yeah, Thalash got out-sniped by the Pyro. I never thought I would have said that once in my life, but yeah, it just happened. And now Martin is sitting with the Uber, and this time they want to use it efficiently. They want to try to go deep and try maybe get Raymond, who's a bit forward actually. Smear is going deep, but he's going quite alone. Uber has been used, but he's getting once more dropped by the Uber, and yeah, we've mentioned that like sync between Martin and Smear, and it's been quite detrimental to Swift so far.
Yeah, obviously you can see the logic of Smear. You know, you go deep, you take down Raymond, fantastic, another big Uber advantage, but just going just a little bit too far. Martin's just not quite ready for it, and effectively you give up your Uber advantage for more or less nothing. You gain about 10-15 seconds off that. That's really not good. This is now just over a minute left on the clock for Se7en.
But yeah, you're right to mention one thing. I'm not saying this is Martin's fault here. I feel like this is both on Smear and Martin. This is not Martin dropping Smear. This is it's on them to work together as a combo, not blaming one player more than the other here.
We have some super scrappy fights here. Couple frags going the way of either team. Raymond does still have his Uber. Doesn't look like Smear's going to be taken down right near the end. Polygon as well in the skybox. Not quite getting a shot. I mean, I feel like a pistol can nearly count, but this is starting to get to those real bum clenching times. This is 34 seconds. I mean, if we see another drop from Martin here, this is it for the round, basically. This is just like completely done, you know. And even still, it's going to have to be a trade, and these Uber trades are going to take time, even if you get a player behind. Even if everything goes fantastically, there's going to be so little cap time that Se7en's going to need left. It's going to be so hard, and this trade does come in. Polygon jumping behind, taking some decent position. And Raymond still playing towards the point. This frag on a Starkey from Ixie is going to be really good, so they can start moving forward now. They can take some position on point, just starting to get some cap time. Good damage on a lot of the 7 players. Domo and Thalash getting so weak now. Captain does try and keep control of the point. He does get 2 frags, but Ixie's playing so smart around his heals, along with Rising, so we do have this 0-second overtime, and once again, Swift, they know what they're doing. They're waiting for their Smear and Alba spawns before capping, so that went almost about as well for Swift as you could really imagine, but they're going to need such a giga hold here.
Yeah, they don't need a good hold, they need the perfect hold, because if they concede the cap, this is it, this is a round for Se7en. So they really need to be perfect in that execution right now. Domo is trying to lead Se7en onto that push, but he's getting really well focused here, and this is what they need to do. I feel like they should stop going for Martin. They need to kill Domo.
Oh my days, Starkey, what was that? That was the most ridiculous air shot, and that's exactly what Se7en needed. I mean, good lord, what a skip, what an air shot. I mean, if you're Martin, you can't even be angry at that, surely. You can't, you just can't.
Well, yeah, I was talking how Swift needed to be perfect, but Starkey was the one with the perfect shot here onto Martin, and this may as well be the nail in the coffin for that round for Swift. If they can't do that pretty well, and Raymond still has the Uber, the aggression is coming from Rising and Polygon. Both are dead. Uber is finally used by Martin. They don't have to chase it. All they need is the cap, and they take the round. And it's 4 players for Se7en against 4 for Swift. The scouts, the cleaning crew, they're coming. They get 1 frag, maybe even 2. They get Saga, but everybody's weak now for Swift. And nice airshot. Once more Starkey with a little mid-air onto Se7en to seal the deal and take another round for Se7en. So Domo was stepping up so far, but now Starkey, as he's the one showing off a bit.
Obviously, we only saw Starkey recently roaming just a little bit at I-63 and only a couple maps, but he's showing once again. You know, this is taking me back to some of those Nerd Rage days, way back in the day. I-55 is what this is. This is vintage Starkey Soldier. Once again, super deep Polygon, giving him a taste of his own medicine. Get an air shot there, so will be some equal trades. Tiger on the flank, getting taken down. Looking good for Swift again, but the controller point is just so minimal. Tiger, sorry, Thalash and Domo as well, doing so well to clean up these other frags, but Martin's so far away from Polygon, and it's going to be a 3 versus 2 here for Se7en, so as long as they can play slow, this will be Se7en with the first cap of the round.
Yeah, the nice combined spam here for, I think there was Starkey and Domo pushing back, pulling back the aggression for Swift, and yeah, they again once more already behind. 2 rounds for Se7en, 1 for Swift, and the first cap is so important. Uber has been used onto Alba, but Raymond, he uses his own Uber really late after Martin, and I think we both told us straight here. So yeah, Polygon and Starkey died. So now this is a scrappy fight, and don't think this is a fight they can win with a nice play for Thalash and Tiger just playing together so well, cleaning up everyone, and 2 of them getting 5 frags.
That's absolutely crazy. You see, they were nowhere near the rest of their team. They were just playing together as a unit, nowhere near the hills or even their demo. They were just like, hey, you and me, we'll do it. We'll take on the whole team by ourselves. It's just, I don't know. It's just Swift was so distracted. They had to look so many different ways, and as much as Swift started the game looking really good in that first round, it was close. Nowhere near as dominating as we're seeing from Se7en now with this little fort hold. Mir and Rising going down again. Polygon's trying to make something happen. Alba as well on the pyro, but it does look like they're going to get cleaned up once again. Polygon. Oh my god, this is just turning into just, I don't know, a bit of a slaughter, a bit of just a DM fest.
Yeah, the forward hold for Se7en is really good because Swift, they haven't been able to really break it efficiently, and whether they went to try to go for Domo or for the flank didn't really work out. Spirit died. You don't really want to lose your demo here. Starkey tried to go for medic, but he got cleaned up finally, and now this could be the opportunity and the opening Swift need to go back in that game, because the Ubers are even and Starkey isn't there for another 10 seconds. So yeah, Uber has been traded. Raymond Mills again once more, and these 3 extra seconds of Uber for Se7en may exactly be what they need to keep position at that middle front.
Yeah, we do have Polygon on the back lines.
Oh my. With the little air shots.
See, this is it. Polygon, he's an exceptional DM player. He's making a really big difference for his team here. Almost, I feel like Polygon on those backgrounds almost forced Se7en far enough back for Swift to take some position on this point. Now we do have a bit of a repush from Se7en. It's fantastic deny and captain, and really good damage on Thalash as well. It's only really going to be Starkey's a major worry for them. Se7en did force their players back, but once again, there's no reason why Swift can't push forward now. No soldiers for Se7en. It does seem like a really efficient cleanup. I mean, Swift are losing time here and there, but I feel like if they can keep this efficient cleanup and this efficient play, I feel like they can stay in this round.
They got the grasp of the cap time, but they have 2 minutes and 30 seconds down before they take the runs. It's going to be really hard for them. Uber's being used really early here by Se7en. This is the first time I've seen them using that early on this game.
Oh, Polygon! Stop it!
Again.
He's air-shotting everyone. He's ridiculous.
He's called the machine, and now he's with Captain down. This may be a good fight for Swift, but they're all weak. They're all in the red life, and Martin dies as well. So this is going to stay as is, and Se7en's just getting the cap once more. And no, Swift, they have to go big or they go home.
Yeah, this is going to be so difficult. You've got both Thalash and Tiger on 185 HP. Martin's just only spawning 20 seconds left on the clock. You're going to need such a good push here for Swift. And I feel like for 7, they don't even need to hold the point at this time. They can just back up, they can concede point, they can play the Uber advantage. You almost need some exceptional play onto Raymond here, as well as playing point, as well as killing the rest of 7 players. It's absolutely nuts. They're trying for it, getting a lot of time on point. Does look like Alba will be able to cap it. 7's doing exactly that. They're playing back, they're waiting for their Uber advantage. Now they have it. Uber's been forced off 1 frag on Smith. Trading Starkey though, so it's not absolutely insane for them. The repush does have to come in exactly right now that Thalash will get taken down. Doma and Raymond towards the point. This backline fight will end up with Captain winning. One saw from Raymond. Ixie has so much work to do all by himself, but it does look like he might just be able to do it. Smear spawning. It's just so hard for him against 2 soldiers. They're destroying him. Everybody is managing to just about live. He has so much to do. This Uber right now does get forced off. Smear and Ixie combining to try and get some damage in on main. Captain goes down. Tiger still towards the point, but it does look like Swift is losing too many frags now, all on Polygon. And that's going to be it for the round, and in fact the game.
Yeah, 7 takes the second map 3-1, and I feel like Swift had more room on Granary, but this is, beside from the first round, I feel like this has been really dominant from 7, and I think Swift, there's not much they can blame themselves for, because 7 was just on product. 7 was just a better team.
I think, yeah, that first round, like it looked good for Swift, but obviously it was so close. It was 0 seconds apiece, and yeah, Swift did win it, but they didn't do it in like a real dominating fashion. And it just felt like those next couple rounds for 7 were just looking kind of better and better. Obviously, they won a round with very little time. Swift got a tool, so you know you can't argue they didn't deserve it, but there was some really good individual play from a lot of the Swift players. Obviously, Polygon was just airshotting everything. Alba and Ixie, they were just playing so well together, and it's kind of crazy to see when you have Alba and Ixie playing that well together, and then they still lose 3-1. It's kind of, you know, it's like you can't even be angry at a game like that, I feel. You just got to be like, we played well, they played a bit better.
Yeah, have you opened the logs yet already, eepily?
I have had a little look.
Okay, tell me, who do you think is top damaging?
I'll be honest, I've already had it spoiled. I feel like it may be his map, the king himself of Viaduct Demo, man. Your boy Domo.
Yeah, like this is pretty much how we felt it throughout the map, how he was really dominant, and yeah, the logs just said it all. Like 10k, 21 for 10. Yeah, on mid you don't want to go for Raymond, just go for Domo and try to get him down, because he just did everything. And when you rank the logs by damage, this is really harsh for Swift, because only Spirit is succeeding as making his way through the 7th, but apart from that, 5-7 players among the top 6 damage on the logs. So yeah, this is how dominant they've been.
Yeah, but I think, like we mentioned a few times, like this kind of bit of lack of team coordination from Swift. Like you said, you know, Smear's the only guy anywhere near in terms of damage. 350 DPM, still, you know, no slacker. 9 for 26 though, with only 6 assists. I mean, when you're getting that few frags and you're not even getting the assists to make up for it, you've got to think, just looking from statistics, there's some serious focus fire issues there. There's some serious kind of just guys not shooting at the same thing or not pushing at the same time, or just something going wrong there. Obviously, like 26 deaths. I mean, Smear had more deaths than anyone else in the server by a decent margin, more than his own soldiers on Viaduct. We saw a few of them, you know, were just down to just jumping a little bit too greedily for Raymond. We saw that a few times, but that was probably only about 4 or 5. It did just seem like, I don't know, he was completely outclassed.
Yeah, and both Alba and Ixie going even, so yeah, some flaws to fix before next week. And if there's one saving grace for Swift, is Polygon and Rising topping the air shots. So, you know, there's something good to take off that map. Apart from that, that's probably to forget.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of almost makes you think, like, not to put everything on Smear, but he obviously did fantastically well in terms of damage. His damage output was great, and it feels like if he was alive for longer, it would have been even better. You know what I mean? It's just literally a couple of those little things, like these repushes were looking great. You know, so many of these kind of like, you know, forcing Se7en back, taking some decent position. The trades didn't feel fantastic for Swift, but a lot of it was looking good and just little tiny mistakes, you know. But that is how Viaduct works, and that's kind of how TF2 works, really. So then, obviously, +7 scouts getting a lot of frags, so it is what it is, you know. It is obviously the Viaduct map, and I think, speaking of scouts, we do actually have a couple players coming for some interviews in a minute. We do have Alba from Swift and Tiger from Se7en. How's it going, guys?
Hello.
Hello.
So we obviously just saw Viaduct, I think. We just saw that, so we might as well kind of start a little bit on there. First round was obviously super close. It came down to 0 seconds for each team. Swift obviously just about managed to kind of take it. After that first round, Alba, how were things kind of feeling in this Swift camp? After, you know, you lost Granary, but I felt like you had enough time at the end of Granary to kind of, you know, shake off any kind of bad thought processes, you know, enough to think about going into Viaduct, getting that first round. How are you guys feeling?
Yeah, we felt really good, honestly. Like, we've had a really tough time on Viaduct throughout scrims. I think we lost most of the Viaduct games we've played. So we didn't expect much on product, but we just tried our best, and yeah, we got that round, and yeah, we tried to keep going, but Se7en did some good adaptations, and yeah, we struggled on the coordination side of things.
Yeah, that's definitely something we mentioned a couple times. There was some really nice repushes. There's some really good play from almost all the players, like individually, but it just seemed like some of the coordination overall for Swift just wasn't quite clicking. Has this been kind of like a regular thing for your team, Alba, or has this kind of been, it's only really now playing against Se7en you're realizing some of these kind of holes in your team play?
No, we've realized it before, and we've done a lot to try to fix it. We just aren't there yet. So I think overall we're really happy with the results, because it could have been a lot worse if you like look at our scrim results and stuff. So it's good to know that the boys step up in the officials at least. Yeah, just gotta continue working on the gameplay.
Yeah, say it's a fantastic approach. You know, learn from every loss. Obviously, Tiger, you guys did lose this first round on Viaduct, but it seemed like everything from that first round onwards seemed quite kind of dominating. If you guys, does Se7en feel really confident on Viaduct? Do you think it's I think the most interesting thing is, do you think Se7en played differently on Viaduct with Domo than Cadus?
Yeah, I think, I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, we don't do anything different. It just seems to be a bit smoother. It might just be because Domo's like always been really fucking good on Viaduct. Like, whenever you look back to when he's played it, he's always been really strong on it. And looking back when Kate has been playing Granary, he's had some good games, but like it's been a bit up and down, you know. So Domo is very good on Granary, which was a big help when we, like, obviously he's pretty much a merc. Like, we've only played with him for a couple weeks now, so it's I don't know. He's just getting used to him, but I think on Viaduct that's probably the easiest map to play with him on.
Yeah, I say we've seen him in previous seasons, in previous games. Like, Domo's an absolute king of just outputting damage. It's kind of a little bit crazy. Just to kind of to go to Granary a little bit, some of the approach for the Se7en mids, it felt like you guys were really heavy into like some of the distraction bombs. Like, we saw first mid Starkey jump super high straight onto the little lamp and just basically stood there and just annoyed Swift for so long, just kind of forced them into a position where they didn't really know whether they should move forward or back, or kind of what they can do. Is that kind of part of like your approach to these mids? Is it kind of, you know, heavy based on distraction, or is it kind of doing something different every mid and just trying to keep the other team guessing?
Well, we know that scout heals on Viaduct are just the way forward. So if our soldiers can't really take heals and they can't really sustain in the fight, they might as well just try get behind and turn heads while we run over with the demos and scout. But the way that Stark and Captain play it, it makes it a lot easier for us to walk forward, because we noticed that, like, against Swift, whenever we sent someone behind, they would send a lot of people for him. So it means like the actual front line's a lot easier to walk in on.
Would you say it's a different kind of feeling than the Se7en we saw I-63 when you had AMS and a Disky?
It's the same idea, just done better, I guess.
Fair enough. Ombrack, what questions have you got for our wonderful gamers here?
So you mentioned difference between the amps. like your new soldiers and the previous soldiers, would you say, now that you've played a bit, 2 weeks into the season, Tiger, that this 7 roster is better than the one you had at IGT3?
Well, it's a bit too early to say, but overall, I think like the skill cap of the two teams, this one is way higher. But I don't know. It's like at the moment, it's probably a bit even, just because we've not played very much together, and obviously some people are still getting used to playing the game again and how the new roster plays together. But I'd say like we're better now than we like when we first played with it, AMS and Adiski. You know what I mean? So like the progression's faster with this team, and I think we would overtake the other team very soon, if not already.
Okay, interesting. And how about one question for you? We have to admit, we were expecting to see a bit more sniper from you on product, and you played more pyro than sniper. So was there any reason behind that, or was it planned all along?
I mean, we had an approach for playing sniper, and I don't know, just in the heat of the game, I didn't really think about picking it up. I don't know. And then like pyro is good for, you know, denying that forward hold, and I managed to get lucky when I pushed out and got a 3k.
Okay, that's fair enough. So it's more about how you felt more than setup plays or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if you have any more questions about this game, eepily, or we can go.
I think I'm more or less good. We want to start wrapping things up for the night. Let people get on with whatever they want to do for the rest of their Sunday nights.
Exactly. So let's go for shoutouts. Alba, you're first on the list.
Shoutouts to Thalish for dropping Martin. We were pushing into second with full Uberad 1-1 in Granary. Shoutouts to Smira and the team, and shoutouts to Se7en. You guys for putting on the show.
Tiger, any shoutouts?
Shout out to my team. Always fun. The only team I can actually stay on over one season. Shout out to Albert and his squad. Shout out to Rising, the Schnitzel. That's about it.
Or eepily, if you have any closing words.
I will give some shout outs to obviously SVIFT and Se7en for a nutty game. We saw some insane air shots, some just fantastic individual play, and it's why I love watching teams of this caliber. Shout out to Gem for doing production work. Obviously, you, Ombrack, for casting alongside. I know we haven't been able to for a while, but it feels good, you know? It feels good. And obviously, Morris for stepping in for map 1. Shout out to Morris. I think he didn't really realize he was going to be stepping into about 10 minutes before, so cheers, buddy.
Yeah, it was pretty good. That was week 2, season 31 of Premiership, sponsored by Copenhagen and STN.tf. That was Swift against the Se7en. Se7en won the 2 maps 4-1 and 3-1. They cash in the 6 points, and we'll see you next week as soon as we can, as soon as we have game to give you guys. Have a good evening.
See ya.